Welcome to the Retire with Peace podcast, the podcast where we help you create a fulfilling and stress-free retirement. Each week, we bring you expert advice, practical tips, and inspiring stories to help you plan and live your best retirement life. Whether you're nearing retirement or already enjoying your golden years, this podcast is here to support you every step of the way. Let's embark on this journey together and discover how to retire with peace.
Welcome back to the Retire with Peace podcast. As always, I'm your host, Dave Zaegel. Wanted to talk today about two different things, but they're kind of interrelated. First, I want to talk about what I think is a bit of a disturbing trend, and I've been talking with other advisors who have been seeing the same thing, and that is where somebody's been working with a financial advisor for quite a long time, most likely. That advisor retires and sells his business to someone else or transitions it to somebody inside the business, and things don't go so well. Now, that's not directly a criticism because it's actually really hard to transition businesses like that. But we just seem to be seeing it more and more. So I want to address that and talk a little bit about what you can do if you find yourself in that situation. There's been a lot more merger and acquisition activity in the financial advisor space, and this really happens across any business. You can think of accountants, dentists, doctors. You're going to run into this anywhere where perhaps the person that you are transitioning to, you don't connect or they're not meeting your needs, whatever that may be. We're just seeing that anecdotally a lot more. At least I'm seeing it. The other advisors I've been talking to have been seeing it. We've been having a lot more people coming to us looking for help, and they're coming from that situation. So again, not to be critical, but just pointing out that this happens, and we want to help you be aware of, okay, what can you do? So if you find yourself in the situation of transitioning between a previous advisor or even just a previous accountant, previous doctor, previous dentist, any of that, but we'll focus on advisors specifically. If you're in that situation, you're not quite happy with who you've been transitioned to, first, start by telling them that. A lot of times people just aren't aware that you have some sort of negative feedback or you're unhappy about something. We've been finding that when people are unhappy, it falls into some sort of a feeling of, I'm not being listened to, or the new people are just going through the facts and figures and not really trying to learn about us, things like that, where people just aren't really feeling heard or taken care of, probably because they were used to things being done one way, and now they're not being done that one way. And that's okay for you to feel that way. You should have expectations about what you want to have out of that relationship and what's going to make that a success for you. So step number one is have a discussion with that new person or new people that you are working with to say, hey, I'm used to this. What's going on? Why am I no longer receiving that? Why the change in service level or way of communicating, things like that. So have that discussion first. That may solve the problem. That may not. And we found many cases of that, at least the people that we've been talking to. Some have not had that conversation and they've just left and gone elsewhere. They're coming to us looking for help. And some have had that conversation and then nothing was really improved or corrected. So, and that's fine. But step one, provide that feedback to whoever you're working with. So let them know that you expect something different or that you're curious as to why there's been a change. So don't do anything without taking that first step of just having that discussion. You'll never know what might come out of it. If that does not go well and you're still just not on the same page, then you always have other options. I don't think it's understood how it's relatively easy now to change an advisor. Easy from the standpoint of moving the assets that are being managed, if somebody's managing your investments, but also pretty easy from a technological standpoint for a new advisor to take in a lot of information and really get to know you pretty quickly and be able to take care of you. It's truly just a matter of finding someone who can communicate well with you, that you can connect with, and that also has the process that you want to see on an ongoing basis. Those are the two things to look for. It's, how are you connecting with that person? Do you feel like they're listening to you? Can you understand when they explain things? And what is their process? What do they do on an annual basis? How often do you meet? What's going to be the deliverables to you? What's going to be executed on a regular basis? Those are the things you want to look for. And it's actually not as hard as many people think to make that change to a new advisor. So just understand that if you're in this situation, regardless of what type of business it is, again, advisor, doctor, dentist, lawyer, accountant, take your pick. Have that discussion with that person first. If it's still not working out, it's actually easier than you think to make the change to get what you want and what you need. The second thing I want to cover today is a bit of a nudge for everyone to actually take action overall. We're getting towards the end of the summer now. I wouldn't say summer's winding down by any means. It's still plenty hot outside, but we're kind of in the tail end of summer when people start to refocus on life. We found, we've done this for a long time. We found that people tend to just mentally go to a different place over the summer, which is probably a good thing. Gets a little bit more relaxation, some trips, some time with family, some parties, all good things. But oftentimes, a focus on organization and finance, those tend to maybe slip a little bit more for a lot of people. So now is the time, as we're getting into the fall coming up soon, to take action and get organized before the end of the year. We see far too often where people will wait, for example, for tax planning, they'll wait until the year's over and then say, okay, well, what should I do with my tax return before the tax deadline to make any adjustments or contributions to HSAs or IRAs, things like that, which can still be done before the tax deadline. But really, it's the fall time period where you want to be taking a look at your finances, your planning, your tax planning. You want to look at that much earlier in the fall, so that way you have plenty of time to plan and implement any changes that you need. Great time to look at Roth IRA conversions if that's something that's in your plan, because you have to do that before the end of the year. There might be some accounts that you need to set up before the end of the year in order to then fund them. So there's a lot that can happen between September and December that can put you in a really good position for the end of the year and into the next year and next couple of years. So don't wait if you're kind of hanging around and you're just not sure what to do. You're not sure who to talk to. If you have questions, always reach out to us. We are taking on new clients this time of year. So if you want our help, please reach out. But just in general, take action. Don't continue to wait until it's too late to start planning, thinking strategically about your finances and your retirement. That way you can retire with peace.